Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to use the iPhone as a controller for your iPad for things such as stage tracks or multi-tracker. And the iPhone will be used as a MIDI triggering device. And then what's slaved to it is the iPad that you might be using for performance. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing what you're going to want to do is get this program called MIDI Studio. Now I have MIDI Studio Pro, but you can get MIDI Studio, just the basic, and that's $5, I think. MIDI Studio Pro is 20. You'll see off to the right, Surface Builder. That's my preferred one, but you can't set it up. You can't program it on your iPhone, but you can program it on an iPad and then import it to your iPhone. So there are a couple extra steps. The cool thing is Surface Builder is a lot more powerful MIDI trigger than MIDI Studio Pro. However, if you're just needing play, stop, some basic buttons, you may want to go this way. So let's get started. MIDI Studio Pro, first download it, purchase it. You can get MIDI Studio for $5, Studio Pro for 20. So let's launch that right now. Okay, so we have MIDI Studio Pro here, and I already set up just a blank test, but let's go ahead and show you how you set up a new one. Let's just call it training, and we'll call it training. So there we go. We have training here, so I'm going to launch this, and it's notifying you that you don't have anything set up yet, and so you're going to want to, we're going to now program the iPhone as a MIDI triggering device. So let's start out. Let's say, for example, I just want to make a basic previous track, next track, stop and play buttons. I'm not going to put in a pause button because you can put that in. I'm mainly just showing you how to set this thing up. So you just hit the plus here, and then I'm going to do a button or a pad. So I'm just going to do some, like a round stop button will be your stop button. I'm going to do a button here, and I'm going to do like a round fast forward. That's another one. And I'm going to do another button, round fast forward. Put that over here. And I think it's a round play. Yeah. We're going to need to get a round play on here. There's our round play button. So there we go. So I'm just going to arrange these. I'm going to have the previous track over here, next track over here. I'm not going to set these all up in order. I'm just mainly showing you how to get the buttons all squared away. So we're going to have the stop, play, fast, next song and previous song. So once you have your surface there all built up, that's all great. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm done here. And then I'm going to click this little gear thing up to the right. And then I'm going to change this. The reason you would do this is so that it locks the placement of these buttons. So now I can select them to change the functions of it, but they won't move once I touch them anymore. So that's by hitting that gear and setting it up into CC properties when you're not in the creation mode. So let's go ahead. Once you have it set like that, you just tap on a button, and I'm going to set the play button. It's going to be a MIDI message. Touch begin. I'm going to hit add up on the right corner, and then I'm going to go status. I'm going to call it a controller. Sorry if I'm going fast. I just want to get this done, in a timely manner so that you know how to do it. You can pause it at any time. So I'm just going to say it's a data controller. We're going to start out play, and we're going to say play. We're going to start out with 20, and then I'm going to move backwards here to hit controller properties. So that means I'm done with the play button. Stop button, I'm going to make it 21, and then I'm going to add this. I'm going to go status, controller, data. We're going to set it as 21. All right, and hit those back buttons a couple times. This one, the next song is going to be, we'll do 20, 21, 22. touch begin. We're going to add status controller data 22. All right, hit the back a couple times and hit done. And then this one's going to be 23. That would be the rewind or previous track. So here we go. We're going to make that 23. All right, so we have the controller, and I'm going to make it number 23. I'm going to go save and then hit the couple back buttons. And so essentially we have everything set up. I like to hit this little box icon up here because I want to save this preset, because sometimes MIDI Studio dumps all the hard work you do. So I'm going to call this training. And that's going to be my preset. Preset is already, oh, replace it. Yes, let's replace it. I didn't know there was one. Well, there is now. Okay, so now that we have that set up, I'm going to turn off the Edit CC properties. And now we're ready to get started on to trigger, not multi-tracker, but, well, we can do multi-tracker and stage tracks. So the other thing that I like to use is MIDI miter. I don't know how you pronounce this thing. But at any rate, you can see that it's already picked the WixNet MIDI Studio. And it's got that. So what we're doing is we're using MIDI miter to connect with my iPad so that it can offer up a channel for MIDI transmission. So what I'm basically going to do is start getting it ready to be visible. And now it's going to be visible to be, you hit this blue Bluetooth thing down at the bottom, and then you're going to want to turn on this switch that says advertise. And now we're going to come over to our iPad. And then what you're going to want to do is have MIDI miter on that as well. So we launch MIDI miter, and then we're going to go over to this thing called devices. And now it sees what's called iOS, which would be my phone. I probably should have named it something, but anyway, I'm going to tap that, and it's connecting, and then after a second it connects. And so we can see that it's offered as a Bluetooth option. So we're going to go ahead and use that. We're going to turn it on. I'm going to turn off network. So this is where things start to get fun. Now we're going to launch stage tracks. Okay, so let's say we have our tracks here, and I'm going to come back to MIDI miter again, and you'll see that now stage tracks is an option, and then you can enable it. You'll see that source, it technically wouldn't be a source, but that's the way it shows up in MIDI miter. Don't worry about that. Just wherever you see stage tracks, go ahead and enable it. And then let's go back to stage tracks. So now what we do in stage tracks, okay, we're going to go into the settings, and then we're going to go into the assign actions. So we come back to our iPhone now, and this is where the fun starts. So we're going to take the iPhone, we're going to get out of this app, we're going to bring back our MIDI Studio. And now let's go ahead and start assigning. So we want the play button on the iPhone to start playback. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight start playback here in stage tracks, and you'll see that it's waiting for a MIDI message. So I come over to my iPhone and I'm going to hit play. Okay, so it assigned that. Then I'm going to go ahead and highlight stop. It's waiting for a MIDI message. I come over to my iPhone. I hit stop. Next song, I go ahead and hit here in stage tracks, and I hit my iPhone, and that chooses the next song. And then previous song, again, same thing, because I'd set up all of those. They're all ready to roll. And now I have my playlist here. And well, let's test this thing out and see what happens. Is it going to go? Yep. I'm hitting the previous. Okay. And if I hit the next, it'll go to the next. Right? And then if I want to go ahead and, I'm going to turn up the volume here. If I want to go ahead and play, I just hit play. If I stop it, then I can stop it. If I want to go to the one that's previous, then there we go. Now remember, I'm triggering from my iPhone. I'm not touching the iPad at all. So we just go to the previous. There we go. And go to the next one. Stop. Oops, excuse me. I just needed to. Oops. I want to assign it there. So anyway, I'm just controlling all of that. Now, you could make as complicated of a surface that you want, but remember, the more buttons and stuff you put on your iPhone, the more complicated it's going to get, harder to see. So this is just a real quick introduction. Oh, by the way, I was going to say, in multi-tracker, can you do the same thing? Sure. You know, you have the same thing that's in multi-tracker. You have your playlist. And what is this? Let's say we load a playlist. Yeah, it looks like, yes, it's playing. That's going in a different channel. So we'll go to settings, and then in multi-tracker, you do the same thing. You can just hit MIDI, it's going to be MIDI remote. And then I'm just going to tap learn. And then I'm going to, I didn't assign it in MIDI miter. My bad here. Multi-tracker. Oh, it was already signed. So, hey, that's how things go. So now it's in learn for, excuse me here. We want to put it in learn mode for start. We hit the iPhone. Okay, and it just does that. We hit learn for stop. And we hit the iPhone. Not start, stop. We go previous song. And we go next song. And so now that that's all learned, and we come back to our tracks, and we have the same situation. So we could see that they're playing as well. These are routed to different things in the audio interface. So, and if you want to go to the next track, or you want to go to the previous track, these are designed to launch pretty immediately. But anyway, it's the same thing. Controlling it with the iPhone, really not a big deal. So anyway, that's how you do with using your iPhone as a MIDI controller rather than buying a control surface. So that's pretty cool, isn't it?